Okay, yeah. So I've started the recording. So we can quickly do a quick recap on what we have been doing. So on Sunday, we started with introduction to cloud computing, in which we talk about what is cloud, the benefits, composition, the advantage, disadvantage, and talk about a lot of things. And yesterday we started talking about each of the public services, in which we started with AWS. And we talked about a lot of things in AWS, starting from, okay, I think we started from EC2, then I established the fundamentals of availability zones. We talk about the regions, then we talk about the billing, then we talk also about EC2 instance in which we are going to share more light today, and we are going to do an hands-on today on that. So you'll be able to, so by the end of the class today, you should be able to create your own, launch your own EC2 instance and SSH into it all by yourself. So you can use your EC2 instance at the end of today. So we are going to start from there. I don't know, does anybody have any question before we start? Okay, let's begin. So yesterday we talked about EC2. And if you remember, I said this class is more for basics beginners that want to take interest. So everything I don't want to use more technical terms. So I want you to be very, very basic. So someone coming from a non-technical field can understand what is this all about. So that's what I'm going to do to this EC2 today. So we are going to do what we call justice to it. So before I go into this EC2, I think that there was a question yesterday about what are the opportunities that is in this field, what should we look into, what are the things that we should focus on. So maybe I should talk briefly on that before we look more into the hands-on and the practical section. So coming into the cloud computing space, there are lots of field and opportunity that you can explore. So I didn't have it there, but we can go and check it together online. So let's just do let's do something like this. Cloud computing field. Or let's just say career. Okay, I think that would be better. Career path rather. Let me use that. So you can try and look into okay. So okay. But I have so this one didn't explain it. Let me just go back. I have them in my head, but I want to show you here. Cloud computing. So let's go to the career paths. So let's see if we can get something here. So before that, there are some career paths that you can pursue in this cloud computing. One of it is being a cloud architect. We have a cloud architect. So the cloud architect is the one that are more into from the word architect, the architecture of the cloud. So for example, you want to migrate into the cloud, the architect that will come and tell you these are the services you need, these are the resources you need. This is talk about your networking. These are the networks you should consider. This is how you should go about it. So that is what a cloud architect. So we have another one we call the cloud developer. So the cloud developer is the one that develops the cloud platform that you're going to use. More like from the word developer. So we have another field we call the cloud DevOps engineer. So the DevOps engineer, from the name, means they develop an operation. So they are the one that develop the application and the way the application will operate in the cloud. So we have the cloud security engineer. So they are the one that have been in charge of the security in the cloud, the security of application and what you are doing. So we have what we call platform engineers. But when you're talking about platform engineers, they are more like a cloud developer because they focus more on the platform. And that's the same thing a cloud developer does. So the name might be interchanged or used in different form, but if you should look at their what is it called? Their job function, it's almost the same. It's just like when you have the American English and you have you have the in United Kingdom English, they might be talking about the same thing, but using these different terms. So that's how I see it. Let's go here. Maybe we can see more. So we have the cloud administrator. So this cloud administrator, it's more like it's you can use the cloud administrator, but the field is more like interwoven. So a cloud administrator can also be a cloud developer. So, but the core one is the cloud architect. We have the cloud developer, we have the cloud DevOps engineer, we have the cloud security engineer. So cloud security analyst is still under cloud security. I mean, cloud security just analyzing, so it's still under the cloud security. The same thing, cloud support is still under cloud administrator. So this cloud networking. So cloud networking is just like a part in it. So we can put it under, we can be working as a cloud DevOps or a cloud security, can even be working as a cloud developer. So we have cloud software engineer. So this one is also like the DevOps engineer. So don't be confused if you see different terms that are being used, and don't be carried away by the salary though. But that's one of the fun parts of it. It has a lot of prospects when it comes to salary pay and that. We have cloud automation engineer, cloud engineer. So all these fields, they are just being segregated based on the use and the need of the company. Because when you come in as your job function in the cloud, depending on the immediate need of the company or what they are looking for, what they are doing at that moment, you might discover that you start in a company as a cloud administrator, and later when there is expansion in the company, you start working as a cloud developer. So it's more like, you moving from area of one aspect to another, but it's still in the same field. Do you understand? So you might just see online, might just see different adverts, you might see different position, and just look at their job functions. It's more related. So someone is asking, can all this be achieved 100% remotely and a specific platform? So there is no job in IT that cannot be done remotely. So all of them, you can do it remotely. Although when it comes to some, let's say some jobs, like it depends, like data engineer. So we have cloud data engineers too. So it's something cloud, it's part of the cloud. It's just like your conventional data, they are now moving it from your hard disks, from your on-premise, or from your data set, they are now moving it to the cloud. So anything you see the cloud at the back is a job function. So can we please mute our microphone? So please, can you mute your microphone? So as I was saying, so you can do everything remotely. So when it comes to, okay, I want to talk when it comes to data engineering, it depends on the project or what you are working on. Some region might, since you are working with data and there's what we call data privacy, some people might want you to be on site because of data privacy. Like they don't want you to work with other systems except their own system because people might get access to your system and at the same time they might that data might be leaked. So it depends on what you are working on. Some might want you to work be in their location. That doesn't mean you can't work remotely. You can work remotely. I'm just saying that the job functions and require you to relocate to where they are. And also, some might just require you not to relocate and be where you are, like be a DevOps engineer. You might not necessarily need relocation. But sometimes data engineers, they really want them to relocate because they won't want you to handle, for example, a data in Nigeria. I mean, a data in the US in Nigeria. So it depends on which aspect. So it might not necessarily mean in all. So some might be, you might just be creating a pipeline. So if you are creating a pipeline, you might not be concerned about the data being used in the pipeline and stuff. So it depends on what you are working on. So, but of course, all these job functions are open to relocation. So they can help you to relocate. Someone is asking a question. Please talk about the salary. You said we shouldn't be carried away from salary. Does that mean that salary is usually smaller? Okay, so when I say don't be carried away by the salary, I was just like, when I opened the screen here and you're seeing a lot of hundred of thousands of dollars. Well, of course, they're extremely paid. When it comes to in the cloud, they are more paid than, especially when it comes to DevOps, cloud developer, cloud security. They are cloud. It's not just one. All of them in general, they are well paid. You can even look at it now. Look at this salary range. So this is just like an entry level, and you're having 107. So this is the average salary for, let's say, cloud data scientist, 134. Let's say this is cloud automation engineer, 120. So they are heavily paid. They are paid very well. So that's one of the reasons why someone should consider the field, because it's a hot cake. So if you're in the field and you're very good and you know what you are doing, you'll be paid very well, and it's always in high demand everywhere in the world. And it's a trending field that is coming to stay. And even at the moment, I think I mentioned yesterday that as we are looking into cloud computing, technology is taking us into edge computing. So technology is moving so fast, so we have to move very fast with it at the same time. So that's it about that. So we can go back. Does anybody have any question before we move back to our instance? Anybody? Oh, okay. So I said earlier that we make this thing so basic and simple as we can, so people know it's for beginners, so you can able to understand what we are talking about and what this means. So now, what is this issue to like we established yesterday? It's just like we want your computer, your personal computer, you want to be able to operate it in the space. Like you want to operate it remotely in the internet. So like, okay, maybe you have one computer now, but you don't want to use that. You are not using that computer, but you want to use another computer in the cloud, but you want to access it through your own computer. So that's what we are going to do now. So let's just do an hands-on and demonstrate on how to create an instance. Then we start with that. So you go to so here, I'm in this region. You can see this region here. You can see this region here. I just opened it, so we are going to see the difference. Then look at this region here. Then Also this region here. Okay, and this region. So we have like we have 5 different regions. So I'm using this first region. It has that many availabilities on 6, like we established yesterday. So now let's launch an instance. So we click on launch instance. It brings us here. So it's now asking us like, what is the name of our instance? So let's take, for example, just like your computer that you have, we want to have a computer in the cloud. So most of us, let's say my PC. So I want to use this for us to be able to get the concept and understand it. So let's say my PC. Okay. Okay, so I said, okay, my PC, personal computer, or you can say my computer. So you can able to understand. So now asking us that what is the OS that we want to be on that computer? Is it Windows? Is it Linux? Is it Mac? Is it Red Hat? Is it Ubuntu? Anyone that we want. So if you look at it, yesterday I mentioned Amazon Machine Image, which is the AMI. So that machine image is just like the operating system. So you can actually choose which of the operating system that you want. If you should look at this, you will see, if you are familiar with Mac, you know that there is something we call the Mac Ventura. So you know that there is Mac Monterey. So I think Monterey is the latest version. Let me check the version I'm using on my Mac at the moment. I think it's Ventura or Monterey. I've forgotten. Don't mind me. So at the moment, I'm using, okay, the latest is Ventura. This is the latest. Okay, yeah, this is the latest. This is what I'm using. So the previous version of Mac is Monterey. So you can see that we have Red Hat. We have Mac, the old version, the Big Sur. We have Linux 9. We have the HVM, that's the disk type, SSD. So you can see different machine image. You have Linux, Ubuntu, we have 22.24, we have 20.04. So you have different one now depending on what you want to choose. So something like this now, you can say, this is what, if you are doing machine learning, deep learning, you can decide to use this. So you can see different one, if you are using the BN, so different OS that you want to use, Windows, Mac, anyone that you want to use is here. So let's use this. This has a filter. This also have a filter. So let's select this. So you said my computer and we have selected this filter, verify proof. So at the same time, remember that we chose 64 bits. I forgot to show that to us. Should I go back? Let me go back so you can see. Oh, I shouldn't have. Okay, let's just, I thought it's going to take me back. Okay, remember to moment for it to load. Oh, why it's taking time. So as that is, oh, Something went wrong. Okay. Okay, just let's wait for it to load. I don't know if that's with my network or something. I don't know. But let's see. So set my computer. Okay, so it's loading the machine image for us. So there's something I want to show us there. So that's why I go back. So if you click on browse more image, so we have 64-bit ARM, we have 64-bit x86. So this is the one we chose. So now this now depends on the specification, what you want to do, anything you like. So the instance type, remember we mentioned it yesterday. So you are taking the least one, T2 micro. So that's the full type. So there's something they call the key pair. So this key pair, like I say, is a security token. You want to log in into this system, this remote server. So we call it a remote server now. So we want to log in into this my computer from your own personal computer, the physical computer you have. We want to use it to log in into that computer. But how is the server going to be sure that you are the one that owns this thing and you want to log in into it? That is what we call this key pair. So this one is your what? Security token. So now I have some here. So, but we are going to create a new one. So every time you want to, you can use the old one, but every time you must have your own key pair that you create and keep. Because if another person gets hold of it, you can log in into your what? Into your server. So let's create a key pair and give it a name. My PC. So let's just call it my PC. Okay. So we are using the RSA. That's the there is the encrypted code. So we are using. Can you please mute your mic? So we are using the encrypted one. That is the RSA. We are using the .m. Then we create our key pair. So once you create a key pair, you can see that it's here. It's going to save on your PC. Then you have to keep it very safe. So I've created a key pair. So now let's go to networking. How would this thing be routed when it comes to networking? So in networking, remember I said yesterday there's what we call the virtual private cloud, which is one per region. So we have a default one. That is what is going to assign to us, but we can create it. You can create a customized one by ourselves. So don't worry, don't want to go too deep into that. So each availability zone, it's more like a subnet. So okay, don't let me go more into that. So it won't look complicated. So let's just follow along what I'm doing. So you don't really need to disturb yourself. If once you want to create yours, you don't need to disturb it, because if I go more into it, you might get confused being a basic. So we want to create security group or select existing security group. So I mentioned yesterday, the security group is the way you want to, it's just like a group from the word security group. This is a secure group in which you allow access into your instance. How do you want to allow access into your instance? So let's just select x16 one. Or we can even create it for us, so we don't need to bother. Let's just create a new one. So now, what is this security group now? So the security group is for you to allow, are you going to allow SSH? You are going to see that now into this instance from anywhere. Are you going to allow HTTPS from the internet? So, for example, if you are using that instance for your database, you won't want to allow HTTPS. So you want to allow all this. You want to allow HTTPS or HTTP into it. But if you want to use it as at your web page, you are going to allow HTTPS and HTTP, so people can able to go into this and display what you have in the instance. So let's just allow all just to show you at anywhere. So here you can decide to, so here you can do a custom, or you can say, okay, it's only this particular IP. That is when you are dealing with your database, that you only want this instance to be accessed by another instance with this specific IP. So I don't just want anybody or anything to want to access this instance. So let's just choose anywhere. So just to practice. So you can see rule with source of this, which is home. I mean, from anywhere. Sorry, allow IP address to access your instance. So we will change this in your security groups later, the way you want it. So yeah, when it comes to storage, we are using 8 gig storage. So this is when we are talking about root volume. Okay, I won't like it, because yesterday when I was showing you about volume, we are talking about EBS, we are talking about NFS, like something we call SEF. When it comes to storage, we have SEF, we have NFS, we have EBS, we have a lot of storage. We are not talking into it. So just choose it. So just look at this as if your own personal computer that you have. That is what we are creating now. So this looks good. So this is summary. So this instance means how many computers do you want to have? But now we are using just one. So let's launch it. So it's creating the security group. First, it will create the security group for us. Okay, so it's creating. So we have successfully launched our instance. So let's go ahead and view our instance. So I'll quickly show us something now before we dive deep into that instance now. So the instance is still pending. So while it's creating, I want to quickly show you something. Let's go to the EC2 dashboard. So if you look at the EC2 dashboard, you will see one instance is running. The one running, yeah. You can see we have security group. I've created one before. So you can see this clip here. Let's just click on it. These are the one I've created before. This is the one we just created. So I'm just trying to show you something before everything. So we have created a volume here. Okay, so let's just go into let's click on instance. So this is my computer. This is the instance ID. You can see the instance state is running, is initializing. So more like coming up. So now let's click on it. Let's go into it. Does anyone has a question? If not, you can just mute your mic.
Hello, Desani.
Yeah, hello, you said? I can't hear you.
Yes, it's Kevin here.
Okay.
I had a question. I saw you have like 10 plus security groups and maybe several key pairs. Does AWS usually charge for when you have more key pairs, or is there a cost associated with keeping such
No,
on
you
our
don't.
account? Or yeah,
No,
yeah.
you don't have cost associated. You can generate your key pair. It's just like your security token. So there is no
Okay.
cost associated with that. So now, looking at this instance, so this is host name for the instance. This is the IP. So this is the public IP. So if I want to SSH into this instance, this is what I will use. This is the public IP. So let's just do something. Yeah, you see something now. So when I try to click on this, it said this site cannot be found. So don't we see why now and what happened here. So these are public IP. This is our private IP. This is DNS. This is internal only. This is a private IP. You can see this is a private IP. So this is a public DNS. So if someone wants, okay, you see the same thing here. If you see, look at open address, you see that but this is the address, but you see that the site cannot be reached yet. Refuse to connect. We'll show you why and what's happening now, but we'll go into it now. So you can see that Elastic IP, there is nothing there. Yesterday, I mentioned about Elastic IP that if you want to use an Elastic IP, like once we are going to practice now, if we shut down this and bring it back up again, it's going to change the IP. So that's why I use Elastic IP. So let me just quickly rush. So you can see these are the details. These are key pair. These are the details, the time, the machine image that we are using, the location. So we tell you everything about it, just like your personal computer. So we can tell you about the security group. You can see. We can do an. So this is the port range. This is for the SSH. So you can, from anywhere, you can SSH into this. So this is talking about all our inbound and outbound rule, like how you want to allow traffic in and allow traffic out. So that's what the inbound and outbound is talking about. So if you click on this security group, so this is the security group that was created. So if you want to change anything, maybe you want to change the inbound and outbound group, you change it through this security group. So let's just quickly go through it and change something and see. So you can just edit inbound rule here. I say, okay, oh, this is, remember we click on HTTP the other time, HTTPS, HTTP, SSH. So you can change, you can edit and go. So let's go back to the instance. So this is talking about the networking, public IP, our private IP, talk about our subnet IP. Remember availability is availability zone. Remember I talked about this, that each of the availability zone, so it's relating to a subnet. So this is storage. So if you are familiar with RDX, you know something like this. This is dev. So this is the root device name. So we are using the EBS storage type. So don't really need to bother yourself about this. Is just an introduction to show you that what is there, what you see. So you see status check. This is initializing. You can look at monitoring. You can see like you can monitor everything, the CPU utilization, everything, your networking in and out. You can monitor your tag. What are the tags? We didn't add any tag. Okay, I think we have, okay, we give it the name and value and my computer. So can add as many tags as possible. So tag is just to identify which one. Maybe you have 10 instances, but you want to use only one. It might be difficult for you to get. You can just use tag to identify that. So that's the details of that. So remember, I want to show something. We are in this region. Now let's go to this region. Now let me refresh so you can see that it's not here. Go to dashboard. So can you see that here in this region, we have instance running 0, instance 0. And what happened? Everything here is 0. But if you come back to this region, you can see we have instance 1 running. We have 18 security group, 5 key pair, 1 volume. But here in this region, it's 0 real security group, which is created at default that is there. So remember I said the other time that what you create, some are what regional based and some are global resources. So EC2 is region based. So that's why you can only see it in this region, but not in this region. So it happens most time for beginners when they launch an instance. So when they launch an instance and they are not seeing it in the region, they'll be like, where's my instance? So, and you might not even know where, you create the instance. So a good way to know that is once you just launch that, just go to your billing here. So if you go to your billing dashboard, you are going to see everything that is running and you can really locate the region that it is. So with that, you can quickly go to that region and see, okay, this thing is here. So you can see here, this is a summary. So let's see here.
Sorry, I have a question.
Okay. And go on.
I heard you say that EC2 is a region based.
I can't hear you clearly. It's kind of noisy in your background.
Right.
Yeah, hello? Oh, okay, maybe you can.
Hello, I'm with you. I want to sort out my background.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I'm listening to you.
Okay, so I want to be clear. EC2, is it global? Is it a global resource or regional? Because today you said it is regional based. And then as I viewed yesterday or day before yesterday, you said it was a global resource that's available to all what's it called? Everyone, but no matter where you are, as a global resource. So I'm now confused. Which one is it exactly?
So don't mix it. So yesterday when I was talk about global and regional service, so I said EC2 is region based. You see it in the region that I created. So I'm now talking about some that are global based. And when we talk about S3 buckets, when you create your identity, when it comes to identity management, even identity management is still based on the region. But when you're talking about S3, so S3 is a global resources. However, it will still be limited to the region in which you are using it. You can create, let me quickly show you here. So this is how we are going to know what is a global and regional base. So let's go to S3. So if you click on S3, these are other resources. This I just want to show you. So if you click on S3 now, you can see something here that is global, right? Can you see that is global?
I can't see the global yet. Where?
Look at the top here.
Okay.
Can you see that it's global? I can't select any region here.
Okay.
So, but when you come to EC2 here, you can see that here, you tell me, give me Stockholm, give me different region, Europe. Do you understand?
Yes.
So let's quickly go to another one just to show you IAM. If you go to this is another resource just to show differently from that. So this is identity management. So you can see Yeah, sorry, I said it's regions, it's global. So IAM2 is global resources. However, it is still also based on the region that you are using it. So once you want to create it, it will be globally created, but we are going to use it in a particular region. Do you see? So let's just quickly check one again to see. Let's just check one at random. Database. Let's just check one at random just to explain. Let me use where's our DS? Okay, look at our DS now. So just to show, you can see that it's giving you this. You can see that okay, this is region based. Do you understand now?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to what we are saying. So now this is up down. So we are in our EC2 instance. So now, okay, this is the region we are in. Okay, so let's go into our running instance. Now, what I want to do is I want to connect to my instance. You know, now I just create this one now online, but I want to be accessing this one that I create online for my own personal computer. So if you go to connect here, so now this method is different. So if you are using Windows to connect to this, you have to download your PuTTY. You have to use what we call PuTTY to SSH into this. But if you are using Mac or Linux, you might not need PuTTY. But honestly, if you really want to start a career in cloud computing, I always recommend that you use a Linux OS. So Linux OS will make your life easy. It will make your life so easy. So because the cloud is based on Linux, so that's why people that do projects in the cloud that use Windows have a lot of challenges most of the time. So now, yeah, I'm using Mac. So let's just use that to explain now. So I want to go into this instance that I created online. So let me do something here. Let me bring this here. I want to bring my terminal here. So just a moment. Oh, what's this? My key. Okay, let me just so sorry, my terminal has disappeared. Okay, sorry, just a moment. Let me try this. Okay, can you see this? It's kind of tiny, right? Okay, let me use another. Let me use my VS Code instead. Oh, okay. Just so I want to do something now. So that's why I bring that. So you're able to see what I'm doing. So I want to SSH into this this instance now. Let me go to my VS Code. Okay. Don't worry, don't be bothered by this. Let me just close all this file. But can you see my screen? Is it tiny?
Yes,
It's okay.
it's
Okay.
tiny.
It's still small.
Okay, don't worry, it will be. Don't worry, don't worry about what you're seeing on the screen. Okay. Now we want to go to the practical part. So if you should look at this now, one of the things why I said your Linux is really going to be helpful because in the cloud, you work more on your command line. Like what I did that you are using this graphic interface to create our Excuse me. Yes. Okay. As we are using this graphic interface to create our instance, when you get more deep into it, you will be using what? This graphic interface. You'll be coding everything. Like if you want to launch your instance, you write a code to launch it for you. So you don't even need to sign in here and started going to instance, launch instance. Let me just show us an example of one. Just to show you how it looks. So we'll quickly come back to this. So I have one in my Git. Just want to show you. Okay. Let me just have, I think I have one here. So this is like a CloudFormation. So this CloudFormation is, you are using CloudFormation to deploy this same EC2 that we create online now, that we go to the dashboard to create. So you write a code. This is a code that creates this same instance from your terminal, from your own system. You don't need to know what is happening in AWS. You just come there, you write the code, put everything you want. So after this one creates the instance, it's going to install everything that you want. So you're able to write a code that run just like automation, create instance for me, install this thing in it, create a database, install this, put this table in it. You can do everything on your VS Code, then you just deploy it and it's going to create it for you. We use what we call the CloudFormation. So that scenario is what we call infrastructure as a code. Your infrastructure, you are writing it out as a code. But don't bother about it. I'm just showing us how it looks. So don't really disturb yourself. It's still a beginner code. I just want to show us how it looks. So let's go back here. So now we want to SSH into this instance now. So I will follow this procedure now. You remember that I downloaded a key pair the other time. So I want to go into where I download the key pair. So as I said in the cloud, you must be familiar with what the Linux. So someone was asking yesterday, like when it comes to programming, what are we going to use? So now, one of the things I want to tell you is like Linux scripting is one of the programming. In fact, it's the main programming you use a lot when it comes to cloud computing. So we are still going to organize another class that we're going to go more into Linux. That's going to train you Linux. So Linux is one of the scripting you'll be using in your journey in cloud computing. So I can access everything on my computer, on my command line without even knowing what is in my system. So looking at it now, you can see that on my system, I have my desktop. You have desktop, document, library, everything that I have on my system. It's here. So if I CD into, just want to show us this. If I CD into my desktop and LS, you can see everything that you can see. I can see that you have some documents, you have some image. So this document and image, they are what is on my desktop. I don't know if it's showing here. Okay, let me see. Oh, okay, I'm sharing another screen so you can't see it, but maybe I can show you later. So now, but without wasting our time, let's just go back to, I want to go into our downloads because that's where I download the key pair. So let me go into my downloads. So inside my downloads, I have a lot of things, so I can't even start be looking at it, but I can just come here. Okay, so I can just come here and do something like this. So, oh, where is, okay, just a moment. So, sorry, I'm trying to look. So I changed my key, the keypad today, so I'm using a Swedish keyboard. So some signs are missing. So I want to use a pipe sign, but it's not here, but just, okay, let me see. It's difficult when you use a keyboard that is not English. You find it difficult to get the sign that is used. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, so let's do ls. Grip my PC, right? You can see this is the TPA we download the other time. So what I do is just like list everything in my download, then search for my PC. You can see it is here. Like, can you still see my screen? I mean, what I'm showing on the screen down here. Okay, let me do something. Let me erase this. So let me do this again. So you can see this here. So now I'll paste this command. I want to change the mode of this keep here. So I just do change mode 400. So this one is a Linux command. So this means change the mode of this file. So 400, we have what we call the read write. So we have read write execute. So read is always 3. Don't let me go into that now. So just know this, don't really need to bother. When you start going in depth, this is basic. When you start going in depth into it, you understand this. So it's take time. So I now run this command. I've changed the mode. So I copy this. So after copying this, then I go back to my code. Remember what is there. Can you see? You can see this is Oluwasegun. This is my PC now. Oh, I didn't copy this. Oh, sorry. Okay, I need to copy this. So now I want to SSH into this remote server now. I do SSH I using my piece, my key pair. So this key pair contains both my private key. It's more like so here it's like this is my own private key. I'm using it to what, to go inside that my remote server. So when I do SSHI, this is, so remember this is the host. Let me show us again. Let me quickly show us. So you understand what I'm doing. Remember this is the public IP, this is the DNS. I don't want to use the word called DNS because I might not know what it means. So that's why I just want to show us so you can see what I'm doing. So I now SSH into it. I do enter. He asked me, are you sure you want to continue? I said yes. So now we can see what is here now. I'm now in what? In the remote server. So I'm in the remote server. This is 172.3.1.11.241. So what do you see here? This is my private what? My private IP. So that's why you can see that here. So I'm now in what? I'm in the remote server here. So if I do LX now, you see I'm not seeing anything. Why? Because I'm no more on my system. I'm in the remote what? Server. Do you understand now? So I can do anything. Let's just say, okay, oh, I want to try and what is it called? I want to install something in this my remote server now. So let's just say sudo. So for Linux package, the package manager is apt apt. So let's just do sudo apt update. Okay. Okay. This app is not command not from. Okay, what am I doing?
It suggested sudo yum update.
Oh, let me see. Oh, okay. So wait, let me check. Okay, we are using Amazon. We use Amazon Linux. I thought we are using Ubuntu. So we use Amazon Linux. Since we are using Amazon Linux, I think the package manager is Yum. Sorry. In my head, I thought we are using Ubuntu. So now I will just use the same. I will just use the same command. I'll just change from it. So admin we use Ubuntu now, we use sudo apt, but we are using another package manager, we use Yum. If you are using Red Hat, I think Red Hat also is Yum. If you are using Mac, we use Brew, BREW. So depending on the system you are, depending on the OS you are using. So this one is yes. I'm just trying to do Windows updates, just install something just to show us how it works. So now I'm not working on my computer, I'm working on the remote server now. That's what I'm trying to install. So like you can use, this is done. So I'm just updating the Yum package, the package that is here. I can do, this will take a lot of time. I can do Yum upgrade. It might take time. Let me just do sudo Yum install, let's just say Git. So I'm trying to install Git here. Yes. So look at it now. LX. So let's do LX dash. LL should work here, I think. Yeah, okay, LL is working. So no, there's some package like this. LL doesn't work on Mac. It works on Linux generally. So let's do, I want to do something. Let's do LL. I want to list LL and slash etc. So what do I do now? I want to check my etc where most of the packages. Don't bother yourself about it. I'm just showing us what is there. So when we get into Linux, when we start working on Linux, we start understanding what is in this folder. What is slash, this is etc now. LL, we are listing what is in this etc, or we can just say, okay, then let me use LL, let me use LX. So you don't need to show the permission, so you just use it. So you can see here, you can see different package manager that is there. So let's just, I'm trying to look for just okay. So you can say, okay, let's just look into another package. Let's just look into var. You can see we have different thing here. So if you use there is one I want to do too. So I'm just showing you what is inside. Like this is your computer or in a remote server. But like this now, remember that your computer, you have the GUI, like graphic user interface that you can be clicking. But here you are not clicking. How are you going to know where you should go, how to go about it? So that's the beauty of Linux. So with Linux command, you use Linux command to navigate, to do everything, to write your code, to do everything that you want to do here. So if I remember that I installed Git the other time, let me just do something. Let me just try to just want to just show you at random. But if you have a question, you can ask me. So I want you just to.
Yeah, I have a question while you're working on the book stuff.
Okay.
So you said you do a whole lot with this Linux command and all. So when you started with your VS Code, you showed us a YAML file. So I'm wondering if you can also maybe work on the YAML file remotely on your Linux environment.
Yeah, so that's what I want to do. I want to try and clone this package. So it's asking for my username. Oh, I have to go and create a keygen. Okay, let me just so yeah, I will have to go and create I will have to go and get a key pair that we use. I don't want to create just one now. So, but okay, let me do something like this. Okay, let's just do something like this. So now let me create a file. Let me just say isc.yaml file. So now what I did is I opened this. This is Linux command. Then let me come here and do something like this. Let me go and copy what is in that folder into this. Let me just copy it. Just something like this. Okay, I'll quickly show you something now as I'm doing this also. So you can just see. So I'm in remote server now, remember? So you can see I created, what I did is I created a file. I put all this command here. Okay. Okay. So if I do LX now, you can see that you can see this file here. Can you see? So let me do less of IA. It will show you what is in this file. Remember, I just copy and paste it. What is in this file here? So let's just quickly do just a little Linux here. So remember, this is the only thing that we have here now. Let's now create a folder in this. Let's say make directory first folder. So this will create a folder for us, which is first. If I check ls now, we can see that this is first. Then let's make another one, second. So this is, like I said, this is Linux command. So you have to get used to what? Sorry, man, like, okay. So you have to get used to what? To Linux. So Linux scripting is also very essential. Do you understand? So look at this. When I do LX, I have this. So now I want to go into this first now and create a file in this. So let me now go, I will now go cd first, ls, there's nothing there. So let me create a file. So there's a way you can create a file using touch. I can say touch first file dot maybe txt, anything that I want to create. If I click on ls now, you can see first. So let me now open this and put something there. I said, okay, this is my first comment. Then I close it. Let me go back into the previous directory. So this is, I'm just showing us what you see. So this is Linux. So we are not doing Linux. I'm just trying to show us what it looks. So don't be so confused or be like, you get what I'm saying? So, okay, before I do that, inside this folder, I have this. So let me show what is in this folder. Let me just cut it. If I cut it, you see, this is my first comment. So if I do CD, it should go back to my home. I use ls. So I can move this. I can say move this. I move it into second. Like move this file into this folder. If I do LX now, I won't see it here. But if I do LX on second, it will show you that it's inside the second. So these are just normal Linux. You are going to understand it later. Do you get it now? So more like we are creating our instance, trying to, everything I'm doing now, it's not in my what? It's not in my instance, it's in another what? It's another instance. So I want to show something before we quickly go. So now let me do exit. I have left that my instance. I'm now in my own PC. So if I should do LX now, you can see I'm getting a lot of things. Yeah, this is in my own LX. So I want to quickly show us something. So that will just be the last thing before we go. So now I want to shut down this, show us to shut down this instance. So look at this instance now, you can see that it's running. So if you want to shut down this instance, like we said yesterday, that you won't be consuming your your free tie hours. So you just come here. Firstly, you have to click on the instance. Then you come here. You click on, you can stop the instance. You can reboot, you can terminate. So let me tell us the implication of each of them. So if you stop the instance now, if you stop the instance, it will still be affecting your compute hour. Reason is because once you stop the instance, the storage is still up. It still creates your storage, it still leave your storage for you. So like you want to stop it now and use it later. So when you want to use it later, that you don't want to terminate it, you want everything there. So it will still keep the storage for you. So let's assume you don't have any free tie or you are using your credit, to be removing your credit based relating to that storage alone that you are consuming. So you can reboot your, if you reboot your instance, the IP address will change. So, but if you terminate it, you will not see the instance again, it will die. Both the instance and the storage, everything will go. So now, let's just stop this instance now. I quickly want to stop it and start again. I want to show us something. Then you will see. So this instance is stopping. So always tell you new commands whenever you launch an instance and you're not using it again, always remember to what? Terminate it. Just terminate it. Okay, as this one is up, let me go to the question. I think I've not. Okay, so someone, can I find billing on my EC2 dashboard? So yeah, so if you want to find your billing, this is where you find the billing. Just go to this place. You can see billing dashboard. Then you can see details of all the billings there. You can see everything. So someone is asking again. Okay, please, I cannot find billing on my, I think you're able to find it. Click on, okay, someone has answered. So you're not to find it on EC2, yes. So I'm lost with Linux. So yeah, so we are still going to organize classes. Like I said, we are going to organize it based on different tools that we are going to use Linux, different things we are going to do. So just follow the process. So things, this is what stop. So let's start it again. I want to show us one thing that is important. So I clone to this and I start instance. So this is starting, the starting state pending. So as this is pending, does anybody has any questions? So we can use that to save time. So we'll be off now. Just want to show us something here, very important. Pending. So this is what I want to show us. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, but maybe you should just finish and I'll ask after because of time.
Okay, so this is running now. You can see that it's running. So let me now go back to my command line. You don't have the previous command. If I SSH into this now, I click enter. What's happening? You can see that it's just loading. It's not doing anything for us. Let me stop again. You know, this is what we use the other time to log in now, right? We use this. It's just hang. So why? Remember I said the other time that once you start your instance, something's going to change. That's your IP. Remember what we have the other time, it has changed. So this is 288, 3288, 18, and it's different from this. This is 244. So that is why we couldn't. So at every time our what will change, our IP will change. So let's go and try again if you can log in into it. Control-C. So can you see now, when we change this, you could log in. Now we are back in our. So if you do LX, what we have before, we still have it because we do not terminate it. Do you understand? So that's also now we can terminate our instance. Just want to show. So, but if you want the same IP, like before, we want the same IP not to change. That's when we use static IP. But we'll still get into that when we have our subsequent training. So let me go ahead and shut down this. Does anybody has any question before I shut the instance? Can you ask your question now? Is it relating to
Okay.
this?
Yes. For if say for example one is using S3,
Okay.
as a and you know with S3 you get to is a place you store your files and stuff. So it means that say for example I want to terminate because I don't want to have cost, I don't want to incur cost. So it doesn't mean that all the files I've uploaded will also be cleared up once I terminate.
So S3. Okay.
Yeah, for S, maybe you're using S3 and you want to terminate that. I don't know whether one can terminate that
Yeah.
instance.
So if you create S3, so S3 is another resources on its own. It's not EC2. Nowhere in EC2. If you want to create S3, let's just do it here. If you go to S3, you can do the same thing. You can create an S3 bucket. So we call it a bucket. Just look at it in the form of a bucket that you put something. So you can try to delete the bucket. So once you delete the bucket, everything you have in the bucket will go. So just here, you create your bucket, you give it the instruction. Like I said, although it is global, but then you still have to select the region in which you want it to function. You put your name in the bucket. So once you do, if you create it and you delete it, it's still the same principle. So everything you have is going to go.
Yeah. So the
understand?
question I have, the implication, does it have cost implication? Like
Yes.
you are creating a bucket.
So S3 has a free tier. So once you extend that free tier, it has its own cost implications.
Apart from the instance.
Yes. So each of the resources has a free tier. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So they have their free tier. So once you exceed it, it starts charging you. But it's very, very small. Do you understand? Yeah, so do anybody has any question? Can I stop the recording now?